So this uncle, like typical Kadazan, he wears like a sarong, and he was standing at the end of the bridge, and then he looked at me, then he was like, "Girl," then I was like, "Huh, okay, yes, hi uncle." Then he was like, "Girl, balik lah, like come back lah." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm back." Then he was like, "Just come back lah." I'm like, "Okay, come back to what?" So I was like, "Oh uncle, I'm back." And then he's like, "No, your great grandmother was a Bobohizan, right? I see her spirits." And I was like, huh? I was like, "Okay." Then my friends, they're from Germany, right? So they also stand there with me like, what's going on? Like, wait, what's going on, right? So I was just staring at him and I was like, "Yeah, uncle, but like that's my great grandmother. Just come back. You belong here and your ancestors are here." Oh, I was just like,
wow.
And we're back to another episode of Naik Bulu Tales. I'm Mo.
I am Fairil.
And here we go.
Again, sharing another, a new story for you guys, because we're always excited to hear new stories and new supernatural experiencers.
We really appreciate you guys, all your support and the comments in the last three episodes. Our 50th
That was a happy 50, man.
Happy 50th.
Happy 50, man.
Last 50th.
I mean, this is 51.
But 50 guest episodes. You know, that's not counting the special episodes, the OTC, the special episodes, the Halloween episodes.
It's so crazy.
Nights of Fright, yeah.
And we're still going and we're still here. Despite our busy schedule, we still will keep on trying our best to give you guys the stories that's,
I think my favorite comment so far has been like, "Oh, finally, where have you guys been? It's been so long." At the same time, I was like, "Oh, that's true. That's so good that you guys are waiting." And we don't want to make you wait either, but we're trying to make quality episodes for everyone.
At the same time, cari makan. And I was talking, I kind of miss doing OTCs. So maybe we'll do more of that in April. We'll try that. You guys have any OTC ideas? Just let us know too.
Yes.
So we'll try our best to accommodate.
We are ready for the main feature. This guest was recommended by my wife, a counselor. She has a master's in psychology. So is this guest. So please give a warm NBT voyeur welcome to Amber.
Hello.
Hi.
Glad to be here. Scared?
Thanks for coming down.
Thank
Don't be scared.
Yes.
Even if something happens, we're all here.
Oh my gosh. Please, nothing happen after this.
We do it together.
Yes. Okay.
We get through it together.
So with our communication, I know you were quite hesitant, and to be honest, thank you so much for being brave. It's not
very happy.
It's not for everyone actually, and we're asking all these guests to divulge a personal part of their life, and a lot of skeptics out there, but here in Naik Bulu Tales, we believe you.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah,
we keep it real.
Right there, huh?
Yes, thank you.
We don't judge.
Is there validation in org psych?
Validity and reliability. I don't know how reliable these are because they're personal experiences, but validity I think is important also lah. Yeah. But thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very excited. I think I was just talking. I'm a big fan of supporting local film producers, local artists. As my best friend used to be a local artist in Malaysia, just moved to Scotland. So I kind of know the industries like you need to support local lah. Very happy to be here, and Alia's great. She's convinced me enough to be here. She said you guys are a fun bunch. It's not as scary after all. So I'm here facing my fears.
She's been quite supportive since day one. She was there since when we
actually she's the one that reminded us we got 50 episodes. I was like, dang. I was like, I forgot we got 50.
She highlighted it more. When I did the postings, I was like, okay, it's our 50th. It was so underwhelming, but
congratulations, guys.
We'll keep going. Let's go.
Let's go to your story of the night.
Okay. I have several stories. So which one do you guys want to listen to? Like you want to hear first?
I think the most comfortable you tell me.
Whichever. Yeah.
So just for the listener and your information, I'm actually a Sabahan. So I'm from Sabah. So I've got some stories regards to my culture and belief, I would say, the Kadazan side of the stories.
Sabahan.
She is a first Sabahan.
I feel like we had a story in Sabah. You smell, it's not Sabahan.
No, he's not Sabahan. We had Sarakian.
Yeah.
So you're a first Sabahan.
Yay! Very proud Sabahan here.
Sababa.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I'm a Kadazan, right? So we believe in the Kadazan culture a lot about spirits. So if you're not a Catholic or you're not a Muslim, you don't particularly worship the more typical religion. Animism is a common thing. Like you believe in a semangat padi, just basically spirits of the nature, like forest, mountain, and all this kind of stuff, right? So I remember this time, so in uni during my bachelor's, I was part of the international office. So I have friends across all the world, and they came down to Sabah during our semester break. So I brought them to like a cultural village, one of the cultural village in KK. It was interesting because my ancestors were partly headhunters as well, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know. And my great grandma is a Bobohizan. So Bobohizan is like a witch doctor. So there's the good witch doctor, and then there's the bad witch doctor, right? So my great grandma is the good witch doctor. So like if you have, you know, like when your fetus is like upside down, you want to go and jumpa a doctor, usually you go to my great grandmother lah. That's the backside of the story. And the rest of my families are Catholics, so we go to church and all this kind of stuff. So I just remember going to that cultural village, basically learning back about my culture. There's like a jambatan gantung, like a hanging bridge that connects one part of the village to another, to the other side. So it was very interesting because as the Kadazan culture Sumazau, when you learn the dance, you actually dance on the bridge. To kind of maintain, because you're kind of supposed to mimic a bird, so you kind of maintain that posture. Anyway, so we were walking around, we learned about headhunters and all this kind of stuff. Suddenly this uncle on the other side of the hanging bridge from the main, so there's a main part where you learn about all the culture, and then there's like the local house. So this uncle, like typical Kadazan, he wears like a sarong, and he was standing at the end of the bridge, and then he looked at me, and he was like, "Girl." Then I was like, "Huh? Okay. Yes, hi uncle." Then he was like, "Girl, balik lah. Like, come back lah." And I was like, yeah, I'm back." Then he was like, "Just come back lah." I'm like, "Okay, come back to what?" So I was like, "Oh, uncle, I'm back." And then he's like, "No, your great grandmother was a Bobohizan, right? I see her spirits." And I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "Okay." Then my friends, they're from Germany, right? So they also stand there with me like, what's going on? Like, wait, what's going on, right? So I was just staring at him and I was like, "Yeah, uncle, but like that's my great grandmother." Then he's like, "No, come back. It's time to come back home. This is where you belong." I was just like, "What?" And then he's like, "Come back, learn to dance the Sumazau. Dance on this bridge specifically. Just come back. You belong here and your ancestors are here." I was just like,
wow.
It's like he's saying that you've had something passed down.
Yeah, I know.
Bobohizan.
It's so scary.
Wow.
It was like, to me, it was like, because I've never met my great grandmother, right? So I've only heard stories from my grandmother, for example, about like how the villagers and stuff like that go find her, and then we all became Catholics. So like I grew up Catholic. Like even telling this story, like it literally Naik Bulu. Literally, because I just so remember he looked at me so dead serious, and he was just like, "Come back lah." And he's like, you know, like this old, really old uncle, like 80 years old, just stare at you, like shirtless, wear the sarong, and just like, "Come back lah, come back lah." It's like, I don't want to come back. But I was like, "Okay, uncle, I'm a Catholic now." Then he's like, "No, your ancestors are here." But he said it all in Malay lah, like Kadazan, right? And I was just like, and my friends were all like, "Amber, what was that? That was so creepy." Because we just got out of like the house that specifically hangs all the previous headhunters, the heads that was hunted on the houses, right? They hang it on top, and then you have to say a prayer before you go in, and then you learn, and then you saw all the knife. Then right after you come out of that, you saw the bridge, and like this just creepy old uncle just tell you to come back home lah. Like, and he pinpoint, right? I don't know him, and he pinpoint, "Your great grandmother is a Bobohizan. I see his spirits." I'm like, wait, where do you see the spirits, right? Like, it was creepy lah.
So he meant come balik sebab you live in KL. You don't live in KK.
Correct. Or like come back. I would say come back to
your roots.
The roots, yeah. Come back to your ancestors, right? Like what we used to believe. Because I'm Catholic. Like clearly, I don't know the practices and stuff like that. I don't know enough, I would say as well. So it's like, ooh.
So
scary.
like when you stepped onto that bridge,
I did. I turned back.
You turned back, right? But I mean, like when he saw you, that means he must have seen
Something else, right? Yeah.
your ancestors around you, right?
I know, which is so scary.
They were just like, "Oh, she's back. What's up, girl?"
Yeah, and I've always gotten like remarks from my family members that I look the least Chinese. So my mom is from KL in PJ. So I look the most Kadazan. Like they always say like you remind like I look like one of my auntie who is like really Kadazan, who looks like my grandfather, her father. The Kadazan side of the family lah, basically. So I felt that when he said that, I was like, oh god, like everything is coming back to me now.
Wow.
I don't know how I feel about it.
So it's funny that you're from Sabah, because we've been trying to get in touch with Dark Tourism Sabah. And so this, I don't know if you heard of this one historical site, Agnes Keith.
Oh yes.
So they turned that into a museum, and then when people can stay overnight. So we've been trying to get
stay
there,
overnight.
to go to even be in touch with them. But
We would like also to kind of explore the history behind it too.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, it's known to be haunted, and like Mo said, they allow people to stay over. So we're
Correct. Yeah.
because we made a promise.
we did, and we're still gonna try to keep that promise.
We haven't been able to get in touch with them.
Yeah.
So maybe with me here, maybe I get my Sabahan friends to promote this, and then we can get you guys.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it'd be so cool.
KK, let us know.
You nak ikut pun boleh.
No. I'll leave it to you guys. I can promote.
Balik lah.
Oh my god, no. That was the creepiest thing ever. It's like and he says it so emotionlessly as well, right? Like that emosi just like look at you, come back lah. It's like I don't want to come back now.
It'd be funny that he's not really looking at you. He's looking at
Mana tau, right? Like you never know.
like Ryan said, ancestors behind you.
I've got my ancestor spirit.
You know, at the same time, don't you think it feels a little bit kind of welcoming because he's like,
yeah.
you know, you're part of the culture, so come back to your roots in a way. Maybe he's not asking you to stay. It's like, come back, learn.
Yeah, true. Come back, learn. That is very true.
It could be, you know, in a more positive aspect where he gets you to understand, you know, what you don't understand, right?
True.
So you never know.
Yeah, I'll never know, and I don't think I won.
I was trying to keep it positive.
It's like nope.
No, it's
for
okay.
me.
It's okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready though, but yeah.
How many generations of your family has been Catholic?
I think starting from my grandpa.
Right after your great grandma.
Correct. Yeah, it ended at my great grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So
interesting.
Wow.
And you haven't been there since?
No. But I am going back in April with my partner. I'm planning to take him back to the same cultural village. So we see how it goes.
Right.
Like if uncle's still alive.
Where there's a will, there's a way. Because his name's Will. Just
Yes.
Right, Will?
You didn't catch that joke. Okay, cool. So the last thing before your next story. So Bobohizan. Bobohizan was equivalent to Bomo in KL. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, something like that.
So Bomo,
like witch
Bobo
doctor.
and Bomo.
Yeah.
Is it Hizan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Hizan.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's one story. So my second story is my experience in. Okay, we stay in Malaysia first lah before we go overseas. Okay?
Oh, we're overseas. That's
Got
what I like.
overseas
That's what I
stories.
like. Okay.
Staying in the Malaysia realm. So basically, Will and I went on a holiday in Cameron Highlands together. So we all know Cameron Highlands is a bit spooky, right?
Oh yeah, we had a guest.
So we went during quite a low season, so not a lot of people were in Cameron Highlands. It was cold. It was nice lah. I enjoyed scones and stuff. And then at night, we were really tired, so we checked in the hotel. I'm not gonna name the hotels, but we checked into a hotel that's quite old, I would say, like has a history to it lah. I am a scaredy cat, right? So I didn't like the vibe because it was so quiet and it's like old and quiet. So I was like, okay lah, never mind.
Too quiet,
a little too quiet, right? So anyway, we had a good day, and then at night when we wanted to go to sleep, It was about 11 p.m. I think. Will was super tired, so he slept. I was trying to sleep, but I couldn't sleep. You know that feeling like you feel like something is staring at you? So the bed, a window, and then TV. And I was sleeping like outside, the other side of the bed, like close to the entrance of the door. I just felt like something was standing next to the TV at that end of the bed. I just like told myself, jangan buka, don't open your eyes, don't open your eyes, don't open your eyes. And then the worst thing is the dogs were howling. Like 3-4 dogs were just howling the whole night. And I was there like cold sweat, cannot sleep. And then Will was just like snoring right next to me. It was like dead asleep. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so annoying. So I was like, don't open my eyes, don't open my eyes. And then it was like 3 Catholic again, right? So 3 o'clock is like,
oh, devil's
yeah. So I was just like, oh my God, don't open your eyes. Then I just forced myself to not open my eyes. But you know, like, you just felt something is there. And like, when you subtly open your eyes, you could see like a blackish shadow. I was just like, oh my God, no, I don't want to open my eyes, I don't want to open my eyes. So then, I think somewhere around 4:30, the dogs stop howling. And you just have like this relief of a feeling like just, oh my God, like it's bright again, but it's not even bright, but it felt bright again. And then I slept, and then I woke up at 6 because we were gonna go on a hike. And I woke up and then I was like looking at Will, and he was like, did you sleep? I was like, no, because there was something there.
Because you were snoring.
Yeah,
aside from your snoring.
Yeah, aside from your snoring, but like, yeah, it was so weird. And the fact that the moment the dogs stopped howling was when it felt like it was over.
Right. Wow.
Your dog telling you they were there.
Yeah.
It was there, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Felt this presence. Maybe the dogs.
It's so scary. And then the next day, I just couldn't sleep at the same spot. Like I swapped with Will. I was like, you're gonna sleep on that side, I'm sleeping on the other side. So I slept well. And like the only part I felt comfortable in that hotel was the toilet. Because it was bright. Like the sun coming through, right? But even at night when I brushed my teeth, just the toilet felt safe. Yeah. Than the whole area.
From what you could see, what could you make out from this shadow?
I feel like it's a male figure.
A male figure.
Yeah, like very strong presence lah. Yeah.
Tall?
I would think so. I tabrani, like I didn't dare to like fully open my eyes. I just felt like a presence was just standing there.
Wow.
But when you slightly opened your eyes, you saw a glimpse.
Yeah, like dark, like slender-ish lah. I don't want to look. Yeah.
Is the imagery going into your head?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't want to relive this, but let's do it anyway. Yeah, it was weird. It was just it's like a heavy feeling. I don't know how to describe. Like, it's not directly on me. It was just like standing there, but it felt so heavy.
Right.
It's just the energy was bad. Yeah.
It's like you don't want to open your eyes and then you cold sweat underneath your blanket, and it was cold anyway. The AC was on. It was just weird. And when the dogs just howl and howl and howl, you're just like, oh my God, like stop.
Did you feel it wanted to harm you?
No, I don't know. That's the thing, right? Like, all I knew is like, I don't want to face the consequences of opening my eyes and staring at it. So I was just like, close your eyes, right. Don't think about it. It's there. Just it's okay. Like, scoot closer to Will and then just pretend like it's not there. And I'm a strong believer of these too shall pass, right? So I'm just gonna like let it be there, and I'm like, it's just gonna go away. Like in my head. So sorry to the listeners who are not Catholics, but like as a person who grows up Catholic, go to the church, there's like a song that's always stuck in my head. As a kid, we always like listen to the song that says, God is good all the time, God is good all the time, and Jesus loves you, right? So I just keep playing it in my head, because that's how I like tell myself it will go away, right? Like, my God is bigger than you, and my faith is bigger than you, kind of thing. So I was just like, and then when you look at your watch at 3 o'clock, oh my God, no, I don't wanna.
It's the same in Islam. When people say if it was a Malay person or a Muslim person in your situation, they be reciting verses as well, and it's similar to the words that you just said.
Okay, yeah,
over and over again.
Yeah, I just like say it in my head. I'm just like subtly, if the thing could read minds, right? I'm like, my God's bigger than you, kind of thing. Like, don't disturb me, don't even come close, right? So so that's how I get through it. And when the dogs stop howling, it's like the whole heavy presence just like I don't know how to describe. It's like it melts away. Like it just go like.
It like dissipates.
Yeah. And then you just like don't feel it anymore.
So do you think anyone could have seen it because it's that hotel? Or was it because you have a certain particular heritage?
Probably. I also think because I don't like the dark. So I think before we went to bed, we took a walk. So Will and I likes to walk, right? So we were walking down like these blocks of like houses, and you know, like Cameron Highlands are so dark, right?
Yeah.
There's no street lights. So like we were walking, and then Will was like, "Ooh, let's walk further." And then we were going past, like once you pass that condo, it's just dark.
Right.
So I was like, no, I'm not gonna cross beyond the light. I'm gonna stay here, and then we're gonna walk back.
Right.
And I think that brought up a lot of like scared lah, like because it's dark and it's quiet. The hotel is lonely.
It's kind of like the start of a horror movie. Hey, let's go walk here, or you can't see anything.
I know, and I was like, oh my god, no, like I'm not gonna do that, right? But it's just the whole vibe. I think since we arrived, and then you checked in, and you kind of feel like something's already odd. You don't have a neighbor next to your hotel room. It's an old hotel. It sets the scene very well.
Yeah.
But I try not to think about it, right? Like, okay, it's fine. But it's that moment when you get to bed and it was just there and you're like, oh my god, no.
It'd be funny if this is the same hotel room that our previous guest Shahira stayed in. She had a Cameron Highlands story. So basically around 3 o'clock she had a myriad of things happen to her. So around 3 she saw something white in the opposite building. It's abandoned. Something floating.
Oh my god.
And then the dogs barked.
Oh,
and then there was drum sounds. And then she was pulled.
Oh my
Like literally almost pulled off the bed.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All in one night.
Hey, was that Cameron or was that Gunting?
No, Cameron.
Karen.
I don't. Do we have a good thing? That was Razif.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So that Cameron story was that hotel as well. And there was no one else apparently staying there that night either.
Oh.
Coincidentally, I don't know.
Coincidentally,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same hotel, but it's definitely. I would say that hotel, if it's high season, a lot of people go lah.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't want to name names also.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She didn't either. So it's
Yeah, I don't know, but that was
okay.
Right.
that was to me pretty
Mr.
scary.
Shadow.
Slender Man.
Slender Man.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe above could be a female because I only see half of it.
Right,
I
right.
didn't
You
see the
never know.
remaining half, right?
But these things are, I feel like they're kind of genderless almost sometimes.
Yeah,
Especially if it's shadow.
yeah.
Can't really tell. Yeah.
Can't really tell. I just know there's a presence there, and it's
Okay.
just like very uncomfortable.
All right.
Yeah, that was it.
We gotta watch out. Maybe we should go to Cameron.
Yeah, maybe you
Do
guys should go to
episodes.
Cameron Highlands and do episodes.
Okay. Yeah.
My next story, which I feel like I'm such a good storyteller. Anyway, it falls really perfectly because remember I was telling you like the toilet was the best place in the
Right.
hotel room. So I experienced the same thing in Thailand.
Thailand.
Sawadika.
Sawadika.
Thailand story.
Krabi specifically.
Ooh,
So
I've been to Krabi. It's nice.
So that was my first trip in uni with my friend for my 21st birthday, I think. So anyway, I was studying in Penang. So, you know, Penang to Thailand is like really cheap. As a student, you can road trip and stuff, right? So my friend and I decided to fly to Krabi, but our flight got delayed. So we had to go on a later flight. But the plan was when we arrived Krabi, if it was on time, we were going to go straight to Fifi. We weren't going to stay a night in Krabi. So like arrive Krabi straight away Fifi, then Fifi come back and spend the rest of the time in Krabi. But because we were delayed, so we had to stay another night, one night in Krabi before we go to Fifi the next day.
Is this Koh Phi Phi?
Koh Phi Phi Island.
Koh Phi Phi. Koh Phi Phi. Okay, got it.
So anyway, we booked a tour to like a tour. Well, I wouldn't say a tour lah, like a transport to take us from Krabi to Fifi. So because we were delayed, we called the same person and say like, I cannot get on your van to go to Fifi because our flight is delayed. So we need to stay one night. And then he was very nice. So he was like, okay, you can stay over at, we know this hostel that you can stay in. That's really cheap lah for one night, and then we can fetch you from there. So we were like, okay, great, let's do it. So prior to that, we already booked all our accommodation in Fifi. And when we come back to Krabi, student life can only afford hostel, right? So okay lah, but we try to be a little bit more atas, so the hostels like slightly more expensive hostels lah. Back then it was like about 80 ringgit, so we were like, okay, can afford 80 ringgit. But this hostel was only 20 ringgit. Yeah. Then we were like, okay lah, it's okay, one night. Plus, it's the tour guide that the guide was the one who introduced, right? And he said he also stays there, like his family owned or something like that. Anyway, so I was like, okay lah, with my friend, worst case scenario already, right? No place to stay. So we went, we arrived. I had the same feeling. So I feel like I always have a feeling. I feel things, like vibe of things. Like when I walk in and it don't feel right, it just doesn't feel right? So I already felt a bit like skeptical. Like it's quite a huge building. There's an upstairs where all the rooms are. But all the family is like squatted at like this small room downstairs, which I was like, okay, maybe so this is my first time in Thailand as well. So I was like, okay, maybe all Thai people do this in the house. I don't know, right? Culturally. So then we were like, okay, checked in. And then we walk up the stairs. So as we walk up the stairs, I saw a door. You know, like when you come out the stairs, then there's a landing and then there's a door right in front here.
Yeah.
And you turn left is where the rooms are at.
Right.
And this rooms faces the river.
Right.
Okay, so there was a door here, and the door is like a very rough door. You know, like a wood that's not been polished.
Right,
it just looks like
so raw,
scrappy, raw, right?
Yeah.
And like peeling off. And then there was a lock, like a padlock on the outside, but the lights was turned on, so you could see the lights at the bottom. And I was like, why would a hostel have like this kind of door, and did somebody like forget to switch off the lights and then lock it from the outside, right? So like, okay, already weird. And then when we got to the room, felt even weirder because like the room window is like facing the river. It's just dark, and I was just like feeling like uneasy. And my friend, she's also superstitious. I got the word right. She's also superstitious, right? So she's Hindu, so she's also superstitious with the number 8. So her room number was number 8. So she was already like superstitious lah, but she didn't say anything. So I also didn't say anything. But we both mentally agreed we weren't gonna unpack. We were like, okay, it's okay, one night, don't need to unpack, right? Just unpack toiletries and go and shower. So we went and shower. I felt like the toilet was like, again, like the safest place. But it was already dark. It was like, I think we arrived 5 p.m, 6 p.m. It was already dark. So I was like, okay, the toilet vibe is like vibing. Great, like chill. Like no feeling of like heaviness. Then okay, finish everything. We were like, okay, let's go for dinner. Let's take a walk around Krabi town. And like, so this is not in Ao Nang. This is in Krabi town, right? So we were like, okay, let's go find food. And then when we was having dinner with my friend, I just like asked her like, what do you think of the vibe of the place? And she was like, I don't really like the vibe as well. Like it just doesn't feel right. And I was like, okay, did you see the door right in front of the staircase? And she just stared at me and was like, what door?
Oh.
I know. And I was like, the door, that ugly door in front of the staircase when you go up. And she was like, so she calls me Burr, right? So she's like, Burr, there's no door. And I'm like, there is a door. Stop like playing with me right now. You know, like you and I, like she and I, we're both like, we are strong believers in this kind of stuff, right? I was like, don't mess with my head, because we're going back. And she was like, but seriously, there's no door. I was like, okay, something's not right. Anyway, we went around Krabi town and we found the hostel we were going to stay when we come back from Fifi. So it's quite a popular hostel. Then we just went in and asked, do you guys have extra 2 beds just for this one night? Because we really want to check out of the other place. And the woman was really nice. She was like, yeah, we've got 2 beds for you, checked in. So we had to come up with a story to tell the hostel owner why we're moving out. So our story was, we found a group of friends, decided to hang out and have drinks tonight. So we're just gonna check out and like hang out in that hostel, right? And we were like, you can keep the deposit. It's fine. We don't want any like refund for anything. So I told my friend, when we go back, can you please walk in front of me and go up the stairs, and I'm going to pull your shirt from behind when I saw the door, and you don't have to answer me, you just look straight ahead.
Wow.
So she was like,
experiment.
yeah. And then she was like, okay, let's go back, take our stuff. Thank God we didn't unpack, right? So we went back. The guy was understanding. He was like, okay, great, thank you for not asking for a refund and stuff, and then we're gonna fetch you in the hostel the next morning. We're like, okay, great. Went up. I saw the door, so I pulled my friend's shirt. I was like, VE, and then she was calm lah, which is great. Went, took our all stuff, and when we left the hostel, it felt like the same again. Like it was like a relief, like oh my god, like heavy feeling gone. And then as we walked to the hostel, I was like, V, I pulled your shirt so hard. Did you see the door? And she was like, Buh, there was no door.
Damn.
Like she was like, I was searching and searching and searching. I like looked left, right, straight, up, down, everywhere. There is no freaking door. There's only a wall, like a white wall. I was like, there is a door. And she was like, I know, I felt your shirt so many times. There's no door, bruh. It's just a wall. And I was like, what the hell?
That's wow. So you do have a gift, I feel.
Really?
I think you do have a gift. It's in you because it's in your blood, right? No.
Probably, yeah.
They wanted you to know.
But it's like man, I don't know if you were probably were scared, but I would have, if it was me and Fairil, I'd be like, this right here. Do you see this door?
No.
I'll be like, you are pounding a wall.
Yes. Oh my god. Because not only because you saw light inside, so this is a door not to just another room. I feel.
I know. I don't want to know.
And then you know what? If the door open, is that uncle wearing the sarong?
I have to come to Krabi to tell you. Come.
No, that was after Krabi, okay? That was like
that was
after.
After was after like few years after.
Oh my god, that's right. She was 21. No, 21 was
21 was Krabi. 21 was Krabi. The uncle stuff was like 23, 24.
My God.
Yeah.
That is actually more fascinating than anything.
Because again, I really think that's something that has been passed down. Whether you harness it or not, it's just part of you, part of your family.
I know, yeah.
It's not a bad thing. Could be interesting.
Yeah.
You can actually help people.
I don't know if I want to venture into that lah.
Did you ever? I mean,
wow, a door.
Did you ever think to like maybe video record it with your phone or anything?
Back then like phone wasn't as
right. Okay.
Yeah, right. Like 2014, 2014,
as prominent, sort of there. At the phone cameras, but
still
not,
at 360p.
Yeah. And it wasn't like the first thing in your mind because social media wasn't like. And Instagram just started. Like
2 years earlier, Instagram started. Yeah.
Right, and then I was just like relying on my friend lah because we were so close and it's our first travel trip, right?
Wow, yeah.
And I was like, I'm not lying, like hardcore. I really saw the door. Until today, I still can see it in my head what the door. If you ask me to draw the door, I can draw the door out for you. Like
Paper, pen, please.
We need to see what this door looks like.
I would love to see you draw that.
It's like like a. When people just take the wood and it's like all it's just like not like this.
Is it rotten wood, like a rotten nose?
I wouldn't say rotten. It's just like a wood that is not
polished,
and it's like it's
literally
flaky.
like you just put on the papan and like a kampung door. Like,
yes.
Okay,
but like even worse because it's like peeling. It's like peeling, kind of like kampung. Yeah,
and it looks very flimsy, right? Because it's just a.
It's like that, and then like there's a padlock outside, right? And I was just like, who builds a door like that with a padlock?
That's funny. The padlock is outside the door.
Exactly. That was the first
keeping
thing.
Something
exactly.
in. Right?
That was what I thought. So in my head, right, like,
shit.
Is this family doing something inside this door that we don't know? But the worst thing is my friend didn't see the door. So the door doesn't exist. I don't know.
You know what would be crazy?
It does exist. It does. Just she can't see it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You know what would be crazy is if you had asked the hostel owner, like, what is in that door? He'd be like, you can see the door.
Oh my God.
Don't let anything out.
Yeah. And then it plays in my head, right? Is that why everybody decided to stay downstairs? Like
so
in
the
that
20
small
ringgit
room?
is for upstairs.
No, so
it's a cheap place, right?
20 ringgit is upstairs for the guests. Downstairs, like next, so when you enter the hostel, the reception, and then there's like a room here where all his family member, like there's like 10 people inside the room, like all from. So that's why I said like I thought maybe it's a Thai thing. Everybody 10 people stay in one small room, right?
No, they knew.
Yeah. Then after I saw the door, and my friend didn't see the door. I'm like, is that why everybody's sleeping downstairs and nobody's sleeping upstairs? And there weren't any other guests other than us.
Right.
That period of time lah.
So they kind of okay.
But the next morning when they fetch us, we did drop by that same hostel again to fetch other guests, and there was guests lah. They're like two I don't know, American like European people staying there. So I thought like, okay lah, I got people checked in, but yeah, I was like, nah, I'm never gonna check in.
Excuse me, did you see a door last night when you walk up the stairs? Should have asked them.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Like, we just decided like not to think about it at all. Like, let's just go past this and like enjoy.
I'm so curious what this door is. Oh my goodness!
Like,
it's like in Insidious.
Yeah,
Going,
the red door.
The red door.
yeah, it's like, and like my friend, like she looked at me with so much love as well, and she was like, "But there's really no door."
When you said there was light from underneath, because there's probably a big gap. You can
Like
actually
a
see the
small gap,
Small
like,
gap.
yeah, like this, yeah.
And the light switch, it wasn't on in front. It was assumingly it was inside.
I would, yeah, exactly.
you didn't see any light
Yeah,
switch.
that's why I thought like, who would, if somebody's staying inside there with the
Right.
lights on so bright, why would they lock themselves outside, right? Like, why would you?
You assume that door was to a room, not a bathroom.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like to a room.
To a room.
Yeah.
Do you see any shadows moving?
No, just like light. So that's why I thought like, so because when we go up the first time, I saw the door. When we come back down to go for dinner, I still see the door and the light was still on. That was why I was like, is somebody living in this room? Why did they lock themselves outside of the room, right?
Right.
Then during dinner, I was like, my friend was like, there's no door. I was like, oh my god.
It's kind of crazy. You could have literally just seen a door to another realm.
Yeah, I really think that's what it was. Or it's like a ghost container, you know, like in Ghostbusters, all the ghosts are in there, all the spirits, demons are in there.
But I actually really think that the hostel owner did something
Probably.
to kind of paga.
Probably, yeah.
Right. So
yeah,
others
yeah.
cannot see, but you are special.
Yeah. And I also know that like Thai has a lot of like practices and stuff, right?
Like breathing for them.
Yeah, you know, apparently because I lived in Thailand for 4 years. So when I was there, early 95, 96, like that, I was staying in the hotel first right before we got to a house. I was told by the housekeeper, she was telling me a story because I was like, got a good story, you're not here, you know? She was like, there's this street where Nang Na, the famous spirit was in a monastery. And apparently, I don't know if this is, she told me, I don't know if it's entirely true or not, but the way she told me, like, she was scared even to tell me. But basically, one of the monks was like sweeping and accidentally knocked it, and the ashes spilled. Dear. And apparently, Nang Na, the spirit, was going around the area of the town, all the residential areas, and just calling out to her husband, which she would say like Pimaka. You know, that's how she calls. Yeah. And people would hear it, and the monks had to catch her back and put her into the. Yeah. But if you're Thai and you're watching this, if I'm wrong, then forgive me. But that's what I've been told during that time.
So Nang Nak is basically it's a general name. It's a specific name. Is Nang Nak a Pontianak? Because Pontianak is one of her names. That's one.
Yeah. Nang Nak. Actually, is it honestly? I can't remember, to be honest.
Okay.
Like, for example, it is a form of a Pontianak.
Correct. I see. Yeah. Like, for example, like Dracula is a name.
Yeah. I think so it could be.
Wow. Still looking for a husband.
Research. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, the door.
Man, this.
That's gonna be the thumbnail.
I really wanna.
That's our thumbnail. The door.
Sorry, I'm never gonna go back to the hostel with you guys. Just saying, and tell you where the door is.
No, we would need you as we're like, Amber. Do you see this? How about this door here?
Yeah. No. Yeah. That was like, I think that was like the first experience that I felt like I couldn't. There was no answer to it.
Right.
Like when I used to tell the story, it was like scary, but now it's like, so it's so prominent in my head, right? Like it's a memory that is always gonna stay.
It's like etched in there. Huh?
Yeah. So then now when I tell the story, like I don't feel as scary. It just feels like I can't answer to it. Like there's no answer to it. I'm not searching for the answer either. Yeah. But it's just one of those things where it's weird that your friend who is as skeptical as you also didn't see it at all.
As spiritual, you mean?
Spiritual and as also as.
Oh, she's also.
Okay. Superstitious like me lah.
Yeah.
Well, what was her initial reaction when you said there's a door? and then she can't see the door. And
yeah, she was like, there's no door, but, and she's like, oh my god. And she also freaked out together with me, and she was like, I already knew it, like the room number 8 in us Indians and who knows, we do not like the number 8. Is like, it's so like not good luck and all this kind of stuff.
That's funny because in Chinese culture 8 is prosperity.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's an opposite.
So she was like, oh my god, but I cannot. And she was like, and I told her like the toilet felt the safest, and she was like, yeah, exactly, like the toilet is like super okay, right? And I was like, okay.
But she believed you.
She did. She believed
nice.
me.
That's good. That's
and that was when, that's why she said like, okay, let's reconfirm this, because I think we have the same spirituality, like we believe in the same kind of stuff and stuff.
Great.
So when we go up the stairs, like she said, okay, I'll walk in front, like just to confirm if like really there's a door or no door, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and there was no door apparently, so there we go.
Yep, you have a gift. That's for sure.
Me and the door. So yeah.
The bird door. Amber door.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
You have any more questions for this?
No, man. I'm
door?
just actually the door is ingrained into my head of how it looks right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my imagination is going wild.
It's like
right
same lah, like this darker brown, but just imagine it like a kampung house kind of, but it's like peeling off.
That's what hostels are anyway, right? They're not like fully maintained or.
That's okay. So that's the weird thing. All the other doors in the hostel is green. It's like thick doors that are dark green painted with a knob. This door doesn't have a knob. It just have a lock on the outside, and it's like
in other words.
It's like peeling.
Oh my god! It's definitely they knew what was there.
Yeah. Then my friend was like, "This is just a wall, Amber. It's just a wall. There's nothing there. Wall, white wall."
It'd be funny because here in Malaysia, there's certain areas like Fairil mentioned earlier, a paga. So if a paga area, sometimes that's where the toxic waste of ghosts and spirits they throw away. That or the ocean. So it'd be funny. It'd be interesting. Not funny lah. It'd be interesting if this door was that, like a container.
It's either that or he could whatever the whole owner. What my thinking is that if the owner is, like had to imprison something there.
When you said imprison, I'm thinking like a beast.
Yeah, like
a demon.
Some kind of.
I like it.
Spirit that was imprisoned there that cannot come out, and it can only be seen through somebody who has a gift of seeing things.
Oh God, I don't. Okay, please, I don't want to see any more things, please. But yeah.
Okay, well.
I bet you she leaves. The manager's like, yeah, she saw it. She definitely saw that door.
Yeah,
she's like, yeah.
I also think so.
And left. They saw the door.
Yeah, exactly.
I really think so, because he was so willing to let me go.
Yeah,
there was no negotiation. He was like, we were like, we're just gonna. He didn't even want to hear our excuse. We were rambling, right, like kids, right, like, oh, it was just like my friends. And like,
sure.
He was just like, okay, miss. And then we're like, you can. Then he was ready to take out the money. And we're like, no, you can keep it. And it's like, okay.
Because
I'll fetch you tomorrow.
There's a plethora of reasons over the years where he's heard different things.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
Yeah, it's the door.
He was so willing to let us go. He was just like, okay. And he was willing to give us back like 40 ringgit. Like, it's 20 ringgit, right? Per person. So it's kind of like...
It's for your trouble.
Yeah. He was like... And then we were like, no, you can keep it. And he was like, okay, I'll fetch you tomorrow morning in your other hostel.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was like, okay. Bye. It was so easy that my friend and I, why did we over-explain? Like we mansplained or something. Like, and he was just like, it's okay. Yeah, just take it. It's fine.
He knew. He absolutely knew.
He wanted to give him more.
He was like, yeah, take it. Like, here is your refund. And we were like, no, it's okay. You can keep it for all the troubles we put you. Yeah. Then we were just like, out. Like, we don't even want to touch the money so loud. We were like, it's okay. You give the money. It's okay. We're like,
it's good that was in trouble. Because all you saw was a door. There wasn't more that was affected. Maybe if you guys stayed overnight.
Correct. Yeah.
Different story.
Yeah, that's why the both of us were like, no, we're not going to stay overnight and like face through whatever. Because my friend is so uncomfortable with the room. I am so uncomfortable with the door. It's just like, well, we're going to sleep in the toilet, is it? Like, no.
Was the toilet nice?
No, the toilet was very simple, but it was the safest place we felt. Like, among all the other
places. It's crazy if this was a movie and then the people that actually stayed in the hostel overnight and the ones that see the door when they go sleep in that room, they wake up there in behind.
Oh my gosh. Ooh. That was my greatest fear. I was like, I'm gonna sleep in this hostel and
shit.
like experience things I don't want to experience. So my friend and I was like, it's okay. We're just gonna.
We out.
We out. And
What if that hotel was actually a hostel? Was actually a rundown and nobody was there? It's always been abandoned.
See, so we played it in our head so badly, right? The two of us, that the next day when we went there, we were like, oh my gosh, please be somebody staying there. And there was So okay, it exists. Right. In the morning, it's still there. In the morning, there were people sitting outside the reception area, and we're like, okay. So it's not so bad after all, because like we literally played in our head, like, what if actually the place doesn't exist? What if like tomorrow the guy,
good.
Like all this kind of stuff, right?
We vibing.
Yeah.
I mean, apart from the fact that it scared you, it's such a great story, a experience that you went through, you know, because it just opens up your perspective on things, right?
Correct, and we became more vigilant, I would say, as we traveled through Thailand, because following that story, this is my last story in Thailand at least, was that same night when we were going through Krabi town. This like reinforced why we wanted to move out of the hostel. Also was that was our first time in Thailand, and we both love culture. We love learning about other different cultures and all this kind of stuff. So we went to like this shop that sells a lot of knickknacks, like all the different Thai gods, the bracelet, the anklet, and all this kind of stuff, right? And then we also like want to be tourists want to buy anklet and all this kind of typical stuff, right? So we went to the shop. It felt heavy, the usual feeling. I always trust my intuition. I have very strong intuition, I like to say. So of all the things I keep, like if I choose to keep, it's my intuition. So when it doesn't feel right, just don't do it. Or just don't go, right? So we went. I already felt heavy. And then we were just outside the anklet. There were two separate anklets. Apparently there's one with anklet that's been preyed upon, and then one that's like commercial you can buy. So the uncle was just like,
commercial, also for tourists.
So he was like, which one do you want? And I was like,
the cursed one.
So I was like, so he said like, this one is blessed lah. So they will say this is blessed, and then this one is non-blessed, right? And I was just looking at my friend. I was like, the blessed one looked very appealing, like very nice, and like not typical lah. And I was just looking at it, and I just told my friends like, no, like just don't even like touch it, like don't, because it's heavy lah. Like and I just felt like at the moment if you wear it, something's just not you can't like you're taking back something with you lah. So it's like, nah. I just like I just like look at my friend. I was like, and the uncle was like not particularly friendly either. And then when we moved out of the hostel and moved to the new hostel, we were telling the receptionist at the new hostel, and she was like, oh yeah, that shop is known to sell two kind of stuff, so glad you didn't buy any stuff there. And we were like, okay. And that was when we were like, now that we know the stuff, so the stuff at the new hostel was really nice, right? So she was hearing our stories at 10 o'clock, and she was like, okay, we feel you. And she was like telling us it's your first time in Thailand, so she was like, that you need to be more vigilant about this stuff. So when you go into shops, make sure it's like typical touristy stuff, because there are certain local shops that local people will go and buy this stuff, right? So she was like, oh yeah, that shop is memang known to sell two kind of stuff, so glad you didn't buy either or.
But that's a risk, huh? These people. What is the purpose, do you think, of these people actually selling these relics to people? Like, is that do you think that's to get rid of the curse? It's like, buy this.
Don't know.
I don't know, because some people have their own agenda, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So here's my thought about the anklets, the ones that is blessed and one that is not blessed. I feel like sometimes the ones that are blessed, probably they have to actually give in to doing that, because they might have something with them that tells them, you need to do this, otherwise I'll be in your face, or you know, all these kind of things. Because, you know, I mean, it's like kind of, unfortunately, it could be that those people are owned and not the owners.
So your theory is the ones that are blessed had a ritual that has to be passed on.
Not
necessarily. I mean, so blessed meaning good. So in our hands, right?
It could be both. I mean, it could be like blessed in a way, of course, a good blessing, but it at the same time, it kind of it doesn't really make sense to me for you to bless something and sell it. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, I mean.
But she wasn't sure if it was blessed or not. You're just saying. They actually said they were blessed. Oh, okay.
Blessed and not blessed. Yeah.
Blessed and not blessed.
So
at least you knew. At least they gave you an option.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why she said.
Okay.
She said the other person at the new hostel was telling her, good thing that you didn't buy it.
Yeah. Either or. You didn't buy the blessed or the non-blessed, right? Because the shop is known to sell those kind of stuff. Yeah.
And this is in Kopipi.
Krabi town.
Krabi town.
Yeah. Krabi town.
Yeah. So that. I mean, you just never know, because a lot of people even little things, right? When you take little things of places that you are not supposed to, it'll just
correct. Yeah.
Razif, the editor,
stories like that. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
The editor. One of our other stories where the editor went to the killing fields in Vietnam.
Cambodia.
Cambodia, and he took something.
He took a garment on the floor.
No.
On the ground.
On the ground of the killing fields.
Yeah. And it's obviously something followed him.
Yeah.
And he said a mother. He saw a mother and two kids.
Oh my god.
Following him everywhere. Yeah.
And they were deformed because of what happened to them.
So he had to go back and put it there.
Yeah. I so again, this is the Karazhan side of me, right? Like we always believe there's a lot of pantang, right? Like when you go to the forest, if you need, I will do it. Like go to the forest if you need to pee, ask for an ask for permission. Like before you go into a hotel room, knock the door 3 times, and I just do it anyway. Although because I feel like once you thought about it, you might as well just do it.
Yeah.
There's no harm doing it, right?
Yeah.
So in my thoughts on the bracelet, I think it goes with the vibe. Like my theory is if you feel like the blessing is good, then it's okay. But if you feel like the blessing was heavy like me, it probably is a spiritual thing, right? Because we are of different religion, and we probably pray to, because in Thai, if I'm not mistaken, there's good and bad, right? There's the ones that they pray specifically for the bad stuff and the good. So I don't know whether it's a good or bad.
Yeah, that's true.
But I know that I wear this cross everywhere I go to.
But your intuition was telling you.
Correct. So my intuition just makes me tells me that no, just don't. And I was just looking at my friend, I was like, just don't do it. And then we just walked out. Yeah.
Were the blessed and non-blessed same price?
I think so. Don't really remember. I didn't even care to ask about the price, because at that point,
it doesn't say that.
I don't remember. Maybe it did. Maybe it did. I don't specifically remember.
Mahal lah, tak nak.
Get out.
Yeah, I was just like,
the blessed
it's
one's
okay.
more expensive.
Yeah.
The blessed one's probably more cheaper.
Probably, yeah. You never know.
Probably.
Take the blessed one, it's cheaper.
No. The crest one would be cheaper. Then you want to go to that one.
I mean, there's the blessed one and the non-blessed one. So the blessed one is the one either is cursed or blessed.
Not. Yeah, you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So using the word blessed is not really. Yeah. If it wasn't blessed,
the guy was saying
right.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is it could be either or blessed or cursed.
Tempered with.
Yeah. Tempered.
Yes. Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
And I think also because back at that time, 2013, 2014, Krabi wasn't a popular destination just yet. So there weren't Krabi town specifically.
True.
Don't have a lot of tourists, right? It's Ao Nang that has a lot of tourists, because the beach is there, Riley beaches, and everything is there, right? So Krabi town was quite local. So I think, and also because we're Southeast Asian, probably look like a Thai as well. So the uncle probably thinks you're here to buy the locals, right? So I'm offering you too. Yeah, you're supposed to know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
He's not particularly friendly, like I say, probably because there weren't a lot of tourists at that point in time.
Yeah.
And then I guess they don't see colors. So my friend's Indian, right? Probably okay lah, whatever. These two Asian person here, probably want to buy stuff. So when we talked to the hostel person, we're just luckily you didn't do anything about it.
I think it was around 2015. My family and I went to Krabi, and we stayed at a kind of an Airbnb lah, a big Airbnb. But you're right, there wasn't much of a town then.
Correct.
There was a town, but not much.
Not much, right? Yeah. Now I think probably you get to buy more common stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, more touristy now, with all the backpackers and stuff. So those are some of my tales.
That is awesome.
You should, if you ever get a chance, you should go to Amber Court in Genting.
Oh my gosh, I've seen videos of it. No, thank you, it's okay. Please don't associate my name.
You see a door
named after you.
I'll be I see a lot of doors, guys.
So many
Which
doors.
door?
That'd be crazy.
And we're we see it too.
Okay, Amber, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Nice
This has been
conversation.
fun.
Yeah.
Hey, if you guys out there have any comments about Amber's story, please put it down. And also if you have any stories in Sabah as well.
Yes.
We need more stories in the east.
Burr is open to your questions.
Yeah.
Yes, I will try.
But before we go up, I would just like to say, Amber, we need to, maybe you can try to get us the contact at Agnes Keith.
If you can. If you know anyone who knows,
let me see.
The tourism, Sabah, I know. We also have tried our cable.
Can. I'll see. Yeah.
Other than that, thank you very much again.
Thank you so much, guys. I really enjoyed it.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
For sure.
And your bravery for coming.
Thank you. I don't feel so scared after all. But I don't know after this when I drive back home.
But it's okay. I mean, you have some willpower.
I do have a lot of willpower.
That accompany you, which is nice of him to do that.
Yes. Thanks so much, guys.
You're welcome. So, guys, thanks for watching this episode. Before we go, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share.
We didn't do that in the beginning.
We did not.
Wow, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yes, so like Raul said, and share on your socials, TikTok, IG.
Yeah.
And what else? Yeah, Spotify. We're still loading, huh? We're still loading. We're on Spotify.
Sorry.
But we're still loading.
I'll do that.
Raul's been busy.
Yeah.
But so bye.
So I'm Fairil.
And I'm Mo.
And this is
Amber.
And we'll see you guys on another episode of
Naik Bulu Tales. Much love.
Later.